Welcome everyone to the 2017 Hero World Challenge. We're obviously very happy to have our tournament host Tiger Woods with us, but first we will throw it over for opening comments to the chairman and CEO of Hero, Mr. Pavan Munjal.
Thank you, John. A very warm welcome to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to have you all back at the Hero World Challenge 2017. Always a pleasure to be out here in these pristine conditions out there. I had a chance to play a little bit of golf yesterday. Loved it. I wish I had played with you, Tiger, yesterday. Then I was in a better position to tell you all how he's playing. Hero is very happy to be associated with the Tiger Woods Foundation. Now it's been 4 years. It sounds like such a long time. I was telling Rick that Isleworth seems so long back. Since the time we came to the Bahamas. We've all had a great time here. It's great to have Tiger make his comeback once again at the Hero World Challenge. While I talk about having Tiger back at the event, when I look at the field, it's a tremendous field. Only 18 pros playing, but what a great mix of international pros. The top 8 of the top 10 of the PGA Tour. And then we have 5 Europeans, we have a Japanese. Makes great television show. Great for Hero, great for the event, great for golf. You all have a great week here, and my best to all the 18 pros, to Tiger. Thank you.
All right, Tiger Woods is a 5-time winner of this event. Before we open up to questions, Tiger, I know this is a very important tournament to you on multiple levels, but especially with TGR live events running the challenge and benefiting your foundation. Just talk a little bit about that first.
Yeah, we started this event back in '99, and to be able to have as much success as we've had, all these years from it's a who's who on the win list. Guys who've won major championships, Hall of Famer, FedEx Cup champions, and we've had them all, and it's been incredible the support we've gotten from the players over the years. When they've come here for the first time, they start realizing what we're trying to do for kids and our STEM programs and what we've been able to accomplish so far. It's been pretty remarkable. My staff has been incredible. Be able to put together these TGR live events like this. They work countless hours, tireless to try and make this thing as seamless as possible and as great as it has been over the years. And I think that, looking back on it, my dad and I had this idea of having this event, and I just think that over these years that I think my dad would have been very proud of what we've been able to accomplish.
All right, great. We'll go right into questions. We're going to start with Doug and then move over to Jeff.
Given all you've gone through health-wise, and would it be a fair assumption that this last surgery was more about quality of life than golf? If that's the case, do you see the golf you're playing now and for however long you play bonus time? Gravy.
Yeah, you know what? You could look at it like that. As I was telling a lot of my friends at home, is that I miss playing golf for fun. Go out there and hit and giggle and play for some denominations and have a good time. I had done that in 2 years. I'd play 9 holes here and 18 holes here, and then I had to take 3 days off because my back was killing me. And I hadn't been able to play fun golf like that with my friends in such a long time. Forget being competitive, but this surgery was, as you said, it was about quality of life because I didn't really have much. I've been in bed for about 2 years and hadn't been able to do much. I wasn't, people have asked me, why don't you go out to dinner? I can't. I can't sit. So that to be able to have the ability to go out and do things like that, and then on top of that, be able to participate in my kids' sports again. As you know, I love sports. I love playing sports, and I grew up doing it. So be able to play with him again, I've missed it.
All right, let's go Jeff and then Steve.
Tiger, welcome back.
Thanks, Jeff.
We left here a year ago on Sunday, and everyone held a good bit of optimism, as I would think you would have too.
Mm-hmm.
A year has passed. Is there something in your heart that tells you this time around it's different?
Yeah, this is very different because I didn't. Last year I was still struggling a little bit of pain, and I didn't know. I was able to hit some good shots, be able to play, but looking back on it now, I look like I was playing in slow-mo. But that was as hard as I could hit it. I didn't realize how bad my back had become and how much I was flinching and just how slow I was. I didn't realize it because it's been a slow, degrading process. And I thought I had some speed, and thought I was playing halfway decent, shot some good scores. But now I've looked back on it, I'm like, man, I didn't even have much at all. And now to come out here and to be able to do what I've been doing the last few weeks with the guys, it's been a lot of fun. I've played some great rounds with the guys at home. They've been fantastic, to be honest with you, because I got to know a lot of them through the Ryder Cup and President's Cups, and have really become very close with a few of them. And I played golf with Rory. I played golf with Berger, JT, Ricky, Dustin, and it was fun. It was fun to be able to do that again, which I hadn't done in years.
All right, let's go right here, Steve.
Tiger, a couple of things. Earlier this morning you said you haven't hit all the shots.
Mm-hmm.
Which ones haven't you hit yet?
Well, I think it's the shots out of the rough where I take 3 cubic acres of rough with me and swing a club, a 9-iron or 8-iron, looks like I'm going at 120 miles an hour. I haven't done any of that. Hitting big slices and big roping hooks and things of that nature I haven't done. I've just kind of let my body tell me what I can and can't do, and eventually I'm sure I'll probably do these things. This golf course, I don't have to do that on, and so that's one of the reasons why I hadn't tested it that way. I won't need it for this event.
And in July, you announced on your blog that you had gone through a program that helped you manage your medications, your back pain, and sleeping disorder. How difficult was that program, and how has it been since then and going forward? Well,
I've come out the other side, and I feel fantastic, and a lot of friends have helped me, and I didn't, as I was alluded to Jeff over here, I didn't realize how bad my back was, and now that I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, it's just hard to imagine that I was living the way I was living, with my foot not working, my leg not working, and then the hours of not being able to sleep at all because of the pain.
All right, let's go Bob and then Jason.
Tiger, to sort of follow on Steve's question, and certainly not to minimize what occurred, that led you to all of the rehab this summer, but do you look back on it now at all and see any kind of that was maybe a blessing that occurred to you? If you could call it that, or maybe some sort of a wake-up call to you, to get the help perhaps and to move on.
Yeah, I was trying to try and go away from the pain, and I was trying to sleep, which I hadn't done in a very long time because of the things I've been dealing with, and so. As my back improved, I've been able to start sleeping again because I don't have the nerve pain going down my leg. I don't have my leg twitching all over the place. I don't have these issues anymore. So, yeah, I'm I'm loving life now.
All right, let's go over to Jason and then Karen.
Tiger, along those lines, have you allowed yourself to go back and look at that video? And if you have, what goes through your mind when you do?
No.
You haven't watched it?
No.
All right, let's go Karen and then Brian right here on the front row.
Tiger, when you took Sam and Charlie to see Messi over the summer, what was their reaction to meeting their favorite sports person?
Yeah, it's more Charlie's. That's his idol, and he plays FIFA all the time and is always Messi, and so it's it's pretty neat to see 'em, my kids kind of in awe like that. And, I thought it was really neat for them to have us back in the locker room just to meet Suarez and a few other guys on the team. It was just a really surreal moment for me to sit back and watch my kids. Just really appreciate it and really, look at it. I looked at it differently because my daughter says, you know that quote, right?
Yeah.
And so I just think that it was cool for them to have a different outlook on it.
But do they have any knowledge that you are the Messi of golf? And is that
Well, that's what I was referring to about the quote that my daughter
Yeah.
said, is that I said, "Isn't it neat to be a living legend?" And she says, "Yeah, we live with one." And so I never thought, my kids understood what I've been able to do in the game of golf, because as they always think, I'm the YouTube golfer. They've never seen me in action. Charlie was there at Akron when I won last time, but he doesn't really remember it. He was too young, And so most of the stuff they've watched has been, on highlight packages. They've never seen what I can do on a golf course. And then when I started coming back for this event, Sam wanted to go out on a golf course with me, and she just thought it was so cool that I was hitting it, where she couldn't see it. I was like, "How do you see that golf ball?" I said, "It's only going about 320." And just being a complete smart ass about it. Charlie's the same thing. He wants to compete, wants to play with me, and then those are things that it's just special.
Is that part of your motivation, getting help?
It is, and I want them to see what I've been able to do in my entire career, and I've been fortunate enough to play tournament golf for 37 years, and I want them to experience some of that. Have a better understanding of it. I don't know how long I'm going to be playing, but I want them to come to a few events. I want them to feel it. I want them to understand it a little bit more. Kind of what Jack did with his kids. To having Jackie carry the bag at Augusta. How meaningful that is. My kids came last time to the Masters and they were in the par 3 contest, but that's different. It'd be neat to have one of them carry the bag in a tournament.
All right, let's go Brian, and then Brian over on this side.
Tiger, if at some point in the future you do have to manage pain again,
Mm-hmm.
how do you do that without relying on painkillers?
Well, that's where you have doctors, and they'll help me if that is the case.
As far as the golf side, to what extent do you think you need to reinvent the way that you play and the way that you prepare for the body you have now?
Well, the last part of your question, for the body I have now, I don't know. I'm winging this by ear because I don't know what my body can and can't do yet. I just got the go-ahead about a little over a month ago to start letting it go. But I still don't know. I was saying to you guys, I don't have any pain anymore in my back, but I do have some stiffness. No duh. It's fused. And so I'm learning that, what my body can't do yet and what it can do. And it's just give me a little bit of time. And, the people who've had my procedure of L5-S1, the average age is 58. Me being 41, 17 years younger, most of the people who've had it, like, for instance, Lanny and Lee, they were well past their playing days when they had the procedures done. I'm still right in my playing years, and so it's hard for me to ask people, what were you experiencing, because they weren't going at velocity, at that age.
All right, we're going to go Brian, and then Steph, and then over to Ben and Rex.
Tiger, everything you've kind of gone through the last few years on and off the course, was there a moment or a period where you wondered sort of how did we kind of get to this point, and maybe what sort of role did that play going forward?
I didn't realize the slow degrading nature of my back and how bad it got to. I didn't realize that. When Because it was a slow process, and I just didn't truly understand, how far I've fallen in that regard, and what my back was not allowing me to do, and that's why now it's just I look back on those days, and I just don't know how I was able to do it, how I was able to compete and play, even back in like 13, I was still struggling back then, and that's when you saw me fall to my knees at Liberty National, like that shot of pain right down my leg, and it never went away. And so I started, back in those days, and be able to live with that for the last 4 years like that, it's not been fun.
All right, Steph.
Hey, Tiger.
Yeah.
Can you explain the difference between what it's like to wake up in the morning and go out there and have your golf like your body not be in the way of your golf and execute the shots rather than your body reacting?
Well, Steph, it's the neatest thing for me is to be able to get up out of bed and I can grab a club and not use it as a crutch. Okay? So now I'll be able to take a swing. That's so exciting. You have no idea how exciting that is. And I'm just so thankful that, I've had this procedure and I've gotten to this point. Yeah.
You said 2 years ago here that you might not know what it would be like to feel normal again or pain-free. Are you at the point? You say you're pain-free, but obviously there still is discomfort. What is that discomfort range from?
It's not pain. As I said, I'm just stiff. And so even at the President's Cups, you guys asked me about that, what does your future entail? I don't know, because I wasn't allowed to hit golf balls yet. So I was giving you that answer that I really don't know until I start hitting shots. And even when I start hitting shots, I remember my 9-iron, they said, oh, yeah, you're clear to hit short irons. Okay. My first 9-iron went about maybe 80 yards. I was just afraid to hit it. And then as I got through the practice session, I started getting more comfortable. The next day, I was full out. And then he gave me the long irons, and he gave me the woods. Then I asked him, can I hit a flighted 2-iron again? Drop down, hit the stinger. And he says, absolutely, you're fused, go. And trust me, I didn't really put the full speed into it until I felt comfortable with it. And it took time. And as I said, I've only been doing this for a month. And so give me a little bit more time, a little bit better understanding, and especially let me play this event and see what I can and can't do. I'll have a better understanding once I'm in game speed. I know I've always hit it harder come game time because of adrenaline, and I'm looking forward to it, and I'm also looking forward to see how I feel.
Over here, Ben, and then Rex.
Yeah.
You may have just answered it here, but this is obviously highly anticipated, your comeback, and from fans and media, it runs the gambit, really. Some people saying that you won't be able to do anything, and some saying you're going to win 5 majors and take the title in that regard. So where do your expectations lie?
I hate to be so mundane on this one, but honestly, I'm just looking forward to getting through these 4 rounds and having an understanding, a better understanding where I'm at. I don't know where I'm at. What I mean by that is I don't know how hard I can hit it. What shots can I play? And I'm supposed to blow this weekend. And if it blows 30 miles an hour, I'm going to have to hit some shots. I'm going to have to lean on a few and take something off of it, hit some shots, some very creative ones. I may have to blast a few. I don't know yet. That's why I don't know what the future entails in that regard, because I'm still learning this body. And once I get a better understanding, I can give you a better answer.
But hypothetically, if you get through this week fine, do you hope to play like a semi-full schedule going forward?
See, again, I don't know. I'd like to give you a better answer, but I just really don't know yet. I just really want to be able to compete this week, play all 4 days, and give myself a chance on that back nine on Sunday to win this thing.
Tiger, you talked about your excitement level of getting a chance to play golf with your friends again. Can you describe your excitement level to getting a chance to playing with a scorecard in your hands?
It's something I'm looking forward to. I haven't done it consistently in a very long time, and I know I'm relying on some of my past experiences of coming back off of long layoffs, especially the 08, 09, after I had my knee reconstructed. It took me, probably 3 months or so to come back to where I was when I started playing golf again competitively before I won. I think I won at Bay Hill. So, I'm looking forward over the next few months of my body, understanding what it can do and getting to that point where I can start playing with my friends on a daily basis. And like we did coming up here, and next some of the guys want to go out and they want to come down here and gamble a little bit, and that's something I'm looking forward to.
You were saying about even you don't know the expectations that you can have on yourself moving forward with everything that you've gone through in the past, and now with this being the latest surgery. What about this comeback scares you the most?
Well, I think the early apprehensions were, as I started to crank it up, when I got the full go, is this full go, how's that going to look? Is full go going to be some guy who hits it, 240, 250, in the air as full go? That was hard to. It took me a few days, if not a week, to really come to grips with that. I don't know what my full go is going to be. And then when I finally started to get it to where, hey, I got a little pop on this thing. Okay, I can hit a little bit harder, and I started getting it. And then I started playing practice rounds with Ricky. That was fun to be able to go out there and say I can keep up with him, even sneak a few by him, and the same thing with the other guys. That gave me a lot of confidence, to be able to do something like that.
Well, what about the future scares you? Looking forward, is there anything about this as you look forward to your career going? If something happens now.
Well, I was talking to my surgeon about this. Is that I felt that how long will this fused back hold up? Just like my microdiscectomies. How long is that going to hold up? But he says you'll be fine for the rest of your life because it's bone and bone. You're fine. How hard is it to break a leg? It's not easy to break a leg, and same thing. It's not easy to break that part of your back, and that part I'm still trying to sink in that I can start doing things like that. Start being more athletic, but there's still some apprehension going forward. There's no doubt, and this week is a big step for me to be able to play golf and be explosive and hit shots, and then what I'm doing with my kids, playing soccer and throwing footballs around, things of that nature. I'd lost that ability for a while.
All right, time for a few more. Let's go Bernie and then over to the third row.
Tiger, can you give us an idea?
Yeah, Bernie.
Can you give us an idea of the support you've got from the public? Like, how many emails you've got, how many letters, how many tweets, and has anyone sort of been sending you any sort of secret potions and things like that?
I've got a lot of that too, yes. But honestly, the public's been fantastic. The amount of support I've gotten. I've had so many responses or so many of letters and so many people reaching out who've had fusions, saying, you're going to be okay. It's going to be great. It's like having your hip replaced. You're dying in pain, and all of a sudden there's no more pain anymore for the rest of your life in your hip. That's what so many people have sent me. And then there are other people who have just been very supportive, and I'm really looking forward to me coming back and playing again.
Tiger, is there a sense of sort of deja vu that you're coming back here again, coming back from injury, and how do
I've done it 3 times at this event, And how
do you keep yourself from thinking along those same lines as before? How do you keep yourself from knowing that this one's different than the last few?
Well, I was still struggling with some nerve issues down my leg when I came back at Alworth. Last year I was the same, but it was better, but not where it's at now. I'm not going to be dunking a basketball anytime soon, but I'm able to live life without any lower back pain or any kind of zinging down my leg or have foot drop. I don't have any of those issues anymore, and so that's why it is very different. It's different from the last two prior when I've come back at this event at the Hero World Challenge. At our worth, as I said, I was still struggling. Last year I was still struggling a little bit, and then this year is night and day.
All right, let's go Doug, and then the last one.
Just to be clear, you've never dunked, have you?
So what?
You've never dunked, have you?
Dunked? I can dunk a baseball. Oh, there we go. I'd jump over you. Like credit card jump shot right there, right on top of you.
You talk about being a YouTube legend for the kids. Aren't you also a YouTube legend for a handful of guys in the field?
Yeah, I mean, when I turned pro, I think Jordan was still in diapers, right?
Well, when you take a guy like P. Reed or JT or Berger, I mean, these guys have never played or known you anything except a guy dealing with injury.
Correct.
What's that got to be like for them, do you think?
In a ideal world, I would like to have them feel what some of my past guys I had to go against all those years. I'd like them to feel that same way.
Do you think you can be better than the YouTube legend?
That's going to be hard. I mean, I was pretty good. And they showed only my good shots. They don't show me only bad shots in my highlights.
All right, last two over here on the fourth row. Yep.
Tiger, you decided again to make another comeback here in the Bahamas at Hero World Challenge. For those of us who live here, find that pretty special. What do you find special about the Bahamas, and are you planning to spend a little time here after the tournament?
After the tournament, not necessarily, not right after a tournament because my kids have school. But I've come down here quite a bit, and I always will. I mean, I love coming down to Albany. I love coming down to the Bahamas. We went free diving for lobster the other day. That was an absolute blast. You know, I love being in the water, and I would say that I like working on my tan, but I think I already have one. So it's not because of that. I just love coming down here. Everyone's laid back, and very much like a SoCal attitude where I grew up.
All right, last question.
Yes. You look very relaxed. You look very happy. We've all got our faults and flaws. Few of us have them played out in a public environment. So as this year, which I think has been pretty traumatic, has it also been a cathartic experience for you? Have you found out more about yourself than you knew, and has it helped you to venture forward and to maybe change your life if you have to? And how does, looking back over it, what you've gone through, all those things, how has it changed you?
Well, I always knew that I always thought that I was tough mentally. And, you know, my dad always thought so as well. And going through all this just reaffirmed that.
All right. With special thanks to Mr. Moonjaw and to our YouTube sensation, Tiger Woods. Best of luck this week.
See, you put the coat on. That's what you do.